Tonight we have with us Tad, the diet coach, Tad Inoue. He's a nutritionist and a fitness diet coach. Tad, thanks for joining us tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So tell me, how long have you been using oxygen and what has it done for you?
Well, I've been using oxygen for about 6 to 9 months consistently. I've really liked the use of it actually. So I was actually very surprised when I first started using it.
How did the results differ from your expectation?
Well, I didn't have much of an expectation in the beginning. I just, when you think of oxygen, it's sort of all around us. So I wasn't sure exactly, delivering compressed oxygen in a controlled environment like my workouts or cardio or something. I didn't know if it would have much of an impact, but it did. Actually, it had quite a bit of an impact right away. So it really did surprise me. And actually, I ended up referring it to my clients on a regular basis, and I still do because I really, really like it. I use it during my training. I use it during my contest prep. I recommend it for my clients who are training for different applications, but also for contest prep as well. So.
And what has it done for you in training?
When I'm competing, and my workouts are a little different, where my volume is higher and my intensity is higher, it helps me recover a lot faster between my workout, between my sets, and between my muscle groups and stuff during my training. But during the off season, it actually I still recover a bit faster between sets, but I'm also able to. I can feel a bit of a strength increase, and I get a much better pump. I also use more. I also use other products when I'm training in the off season, things like creatine and nitric oxide producing products, and the oxygen actually enables those products a little bit better. At least that I feel like definitely feel a much higher degree of intensity to the pumps that I get, and some of these things that these other products are also contributing to.
So when you tell me that you're recovering faster between sets, is that enabling you to do more sets? Are you able to do increased reps, or what does that convert to in your workout?
Well, normally, like say for instance in the off season, I'm about between 235 and 240. That's how much I weigh, and I'm usually maintaining 7 to 8% body fat year round in the off season, and so it's kind of and I'm only 5'7", so when I go in and work out, it doesn't take much for me to start breathing hard. So when I hit a set of 12 to 15 reps, which is not uncommon in the off season when I'm training to gain muscle size, my when I take the way that I use the oxygen might be a little different than with some. I'll use it throughout my workout, a couple sprays after each set, and it really helps. It helps me. I could tell right away because it helps me recover my breath a lot quicker. I would say probably at least 35 to 40% quicker than I normally would. And I could usually squeeze out a couple more reps, at least 2 to 3 more reps that I normally wouldn't be able to do. So not only do I feel better from an endurance perspective and also from a strength perspective, but I also am able to catch my breath a lot faster. So that's really, really important to me because, I don't like sitting on the bench huffing and puffing for, a couple, for 5 minutes when I really only want to rest, 2 minutes between each set.
That's amazing. How do you think oxygen measures up to other supplements? I know there's nothing else really like it on the market, but, just from a performance standpoint, how do you think it measures up?
Well, comparatively, it's sort of like comparing apples and oranges. I think the first natural instinct is to want to compare the products together, but I really kind of see them as I see it really more as a synergistic product, something that works in synergy with many other products. Like I said earlier, using creatine and nitric oxide products, those kinds of products definitely delivering more oxygen to the body, to the muscles, enables those supplements to work their magic a lot better. So really, it's sort of almost an enabler. But even by itself, it's one of these products that it's so cheap and so effective that it's sort of kind of a no-brainer, especially if you like most people who go into the gym, they want to hit intense workouts and they want to get the most out of their workouts. I mean, this is just one of those things that I see as almost a necessity. So comparatively, it definitely has some synergy, but it also has its own uniqueness to it that makes it stand by itself.
What are some of the aspects of oxygen that you like?
Well, aside from, obviously, I like it that that's easy to use. It doesn't take a lot of rocket science to figure out how to use it. But at the same time, I like it because it's one of those things that you notice its effects right away. You don't have to take it for a couple of weeks to be able to feel the difference. You don't have to measure anything. You can feel it. So when I use it, I felt it right away. So I became a believer the first time I used it. So it was something that so that's probably it scores the highest marks in its efficacy for me because I could feel it right away. And that's something that's really easy to translate over to people when they use a product. I think that's one of the secrets to many of the big products out there that became popular very fast, like nitric oxide products and creatine. Those products also, you notice those things pretty much right away. So these kinds of products tend to, and I see oxygen really like this. Those are the things that I like the most about it. That I didn't have to collect any data or really analyze what was happening. It worked. I felt it, and it was fast and effective.
Did you find that it had any side effects to it, or no side effects?
Nothing. It has side effects. They're all good. Decreased recovery between sets, increased drink levels, all these kinds of things. Those are there were no other ill side effects.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I know what you're saying about the instant gratification too. Everybody wants instant gratification these days. Nobody really wants to take something that takes 2 months before they start feeling the benefits or noticing the benefits. So, have you had any of your clients try it? I know you said you recommend it to your clients, but what kind of feedback have you been getting from your clients?
Well, actually, most of the clients that I referred to it were competitors, and everybody that I've handed the product off to has loved it. So they have become believers. Many of them actually have gotten involved in telling other people about it as well. So it's sort of like, it sounds very much, what I'm saying sounds very much like an infomercial, but it's very, very true. It's definitely had an impact on their workouts, on their cardio. So because you can feel it, and I believe, and which is one of the reasons why I liked it, of course, like we just said, and it's also the same reason that sort of hooked it into some of the clients that I have suggested it to, and the reason why they like it is that they noticed it right away. They've all liked it. I haven't had anybody come back and say, "Oh yeah, no." I think one person came back and said, "Oh yeah, I didn't really feel it that much," but then I think we figured out you were fortunate, you were kind enough to help him with using it correctly, and then all of a sudden he loved it. So now he's
I remember that. Yeah, we just made a slight correction with him, and all of a sudden he started getting great results. And that's one of the things about oxygen that a lot of people need to realize is there is some experimentation that may be involved in the beginning because everybody is slightly different. So everybody will respond to it slightly differently, and some people need to take more, some people need to take less. Yeah, it's just one of those things that it's kind of a trial and error. But once you dial it in, it tends to work well every single time you use it. Right,
and I use it a little differently than you originally suggested, but I tend to use it the same way every time. When I start working out, I'll take several breaths of it between the first couple sets of my first exercise, and then intermittently after every other set or so, I'll take a couple of breaths of it, and to keep my oxygen in my body up, and that's the way I use it, and I feel it the best. And then when I get about halfway done with my workout, I don't really need to use it anymore, so it pretty much stops.
It carries you through, huh?
It carries me through, yeah, exactly.
Okay,
so and that may be different for everybody because I'm a little bigger than most, and I'm really, and I'm going for I'm still going for a slightly higher number of reps than what probably some people are, and a little bit higher volume. So I'm using up oxygen like mad.
Yeah, I find what you say to be true though. For most athletes, the oxygen lasts longer than they think. You can take it in the beginning or halfway through the workout, and it'll carry you through the rest of the workout. So that's one of the things that we don't really understand why that's happening, but it does occur pretty consistently.
Right.
So let me ask you this. With these benefits that you're talking about, do you think that people who use it will get faster results from their training?
I think absolutely. I think they do. I know I have. It's helped me immensely do that. So there's nothing unusually unique about my body that's anything different than anybody else's, in the sense that I think under the same kinds of conditions, but most people's bodies respond relatively similarly. Sometimes people may respond a little faster, some people may respond a little slower, but in general, they still respond on the same curve. So absolutely, this is a product that I think everyone will get value out of. Some people may feel it more than other people, and some people may feel it a little bit less, but everybody should feel something.
Yeah, and I guess when you have the ability to increase your training volume in every workout, that over the long term, that's going to have an impact on the results that you get from your workouts.
Absolutely, absolutely. Everybody wants great workouts, and I want them too. And so I strive every workout to, whether it be a cardio session or whether it be a workout with resistance training session, I want a great workout because I know that great workouts equate to better results. So that's just all there is to it. As long as, you know, your diet and everything else is in line, but the foundation for this is get great workouts. If I can provide the environment in my body to be able to do that, I want to do that. And for what I feel, it's well worth every penny to do that.
Well, it's always good to hear when people, you know, really love the product like that. Do you think that it can be helpful in weight loss? I know it's not a weight loss product per se, but because it helps make exercise easier, do you feel like it can be helpful in weight loss?
Anytime you can make workouts and cardio sessions a little easier, and you can burn more fuels, because that's really what oxygen is there in the body to do when you're working out. It's oxygen is being delivered to the muscles to be able to burn fuels, and if you can do that more expeditiously, then absolutely the more fuels you're burning, the more calories you're burning. The more calories you're burning, the greater energy deficits that you can create in a workout or in a day, and so therefore you could lose more fat. You could at least maximize the fat loss or fat burning that you're doing in a given session, in a given workout. So absolutely, it can aid. What that percentage is, I don't know, because it's going to be different for each person. But in general, I'd say yes. But at the very least, it can help you feel better when you're doing your cardio or when you're doing your workout. And I think for most people who are trying to lose body fat, maybe somebody who might be trying to lose a lot of body fat, who might not be in the best shape, this is going to make them feel better. Somebody who may be getting ready for a contest, and they want every advantage that they can, every little tiny percentage advantage they can, it's going to help. So absolutely.
So here's my final question to you. If someone asked you, why should I use oxygen, how would you answer them in like 1 to 2 sentences?
That's a little tough because I think I would definitely I'd want to ask them what kind of application they're using, what are their goals, what kind, So when I look at oxygen use, I see it in a couple of different camps, and I see it as so if you're trying to lose body fat, then absolutely, then it's a great thing. But if you're trying to if your application is something like football, if you're playing football, or if you're playing some kind of sport where you need power, raw power, or a higher level of strength or endurance, then absolutely this is oxygen is good because it delivers oxygen to your muscles faster. Your muscles can respond quicker and they can contract harder because they have all the raw materials to do that. If you're trying to lose body fat, as we just talked about, it can have its benefits. If you're trying to gain muscle like a bodybuilder might in the off season, it absolutely has its benefits to creating higher levels of intensity in your workouts and higher recovery rates in between your sets. So it has its usefulness in all ways. So, but that answer, why should I use oxygen, really is very contingent on the application of what you're trying to do or the goals of the person that's trying to do it. So while I think that it's definitely a benefit to all these kinds of camps of people that might be trying to use it, whether they be in a sport or an application, or whether they be trying to lose body fat or gain muscle mass or just feel better in their workouts. It has an application for all those things, and it has benefits for all those benefits or those reasons might be a little different. But at the end of the day, it sort of sums up to the same kind of thing. Going to make your workouts feel better, going to deliver oxygen to your body quicker, you're going to have better workouts. And so whenever you do those things, your results are going to be better.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to know that, something so simple and safe and without side effects, no stimulants, no calories, no sugars, can be so helpful for athletic performance in so many different aspects like you just talked about. Well, anyway, there you have it, folks. Tad, the Diet Coach, it's always a pleasure talking to you. You always give us such great information and have such great insight on everything. We appreciate your time, and we really appreciate the fact that you think so highly of our product.
Oh, you're welcome, Craig. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me.